So greetings, ladies. Look at this gorgeous face, this beautiful smiling face. So for those of you who may not know, because you probably haven't seen her necessarily on a video like you've seen me, this is one of our very own master T-Tapp trainers, Gergana. And I'll let her say her last name. And she is here from Sofia, Bulgaria. And I have, over the last several years, become very close to Gergana. I'd actually helped her with some 60-day challenges that she won, and then mentored her for her training and her senior fit training. So I absolutely love and adore this woman, and I know that you will too. All you have to do is look at that beautiful face, and the heart goes right along with it. So Gergana actually reached out to me to ask me if she could share with you all some of this amazing cutting-edge technology that she has been learning and getting certified in on sleep and fatigue management. And you guys, obviously, I said even in the thread, so many of us always have trouble with sleep. It is a huge issue, and it is a huge health issue that if we are not getting good, strong sleep and really managing our fatigue, it affects everything. And I know you guys, all I have to say is it affects your belly fat, and all of a sudden all ears are open, right? So I would love to welcome my dear, dear friend and T-Tapp sister, Gergana. Thank you so much for doing this. And we're actually even here on a Sunday, so she gave up some of her Sunday to be with us to share. So Gergana, welcome. Let's just start by sharing with us, how did you end up getting into sleep? What's your background? Because I know you have an incredible background.
Hello, first let me say hello. I'm so happy to be here, and you're so far one of my most favorite T-Tappers, and I owe a big one to you, so thank you for having me here. And let me say how I came to this issue. Well, first I struggle with fatigue myself, and with sleep, of course, myself. But second, and maybe more important, is that over the years my job led me to this issue, to studying it more and on a deeper level. So last year I finally got a certification for sleep and fatigue management, so I can say that I'm very, very happy to be here, and I'm very happy to be able to share what I know with some of you that might have the same issues that I used to have before. And in my profession, in my other profession, in my 9 to 5 job, I teach pilots and cabin crews how to deal with fatigue, how to deal with lack of sleep, how to deal with wake up at 3 a.m., go to bed at 10 a.m. It's not easy. And it's not only for a day or two, but it's day after day, after year, and so on. So I know something about lack of sleep and quality of sleep.
Beautiful. So let's just dig in. Tell me, so obviously you helped yourself with some of this knowledge. So yes. Can you share, just give us some great tips and information that we can take away and actually use?
Absolutely. But before going to the tips, I would like to share a few very basic things about the sleep. And we should know them before doing something else, okay? So, sleep, most people don't know, but sleep is a very, active process. We don't shut down and stay dead for next 8 or 9 hours, but something amazing is happening into our body, into our physical body, and in our brain. Actually, the whole metabolism during sleep is changing, and when we are awake, brain, there are some chemicals that happen in some chemicals that are collecting I'm sorry, my English.
You're doing amazingly well. Go ahead. We're all.
There are some chemicals that collect in the brain, and they make the brain shuts down and body falls asleep. This is the very basically said, but it happens. So there are different mechanisms in the brain, in the body, that make sure that we get asleep, stay asleep, and wake up. And what I want to make extremely clear is that we need to sleep in order to stay alive. It's vital for us to sleep. I've heard so many people who say, "Oh, you know, sleep is not that important. I have other special things to do. I have special places to see." There is so much more to do, more interesting than sleep, and this is not true. So let's see what's happening. What's happening when we are asleep? First of all, I want you all to close your eyes and just imagine that you're going to sleep. So close your eyes and tell me what do you feel? Just fall asleep. What do you feel if you're getting ready to sleep?
I start to just get very relaxed.
Okay.
Everything, my body relaxes, my mind starts to quiet.
Okay. So in order to get asleep, we need to relax. We need our brain to shut down a little bit, and we need to get out of the thoughts that are running in our head. So first thing that happens, or one of the first things that happens, is that the brain waves change from beta to alpha levels, or we are becoming more relaxed and thoughts are going away. After that, brain starts sending signals to the body to shut down a bit and slow down the processes, either heart rate, either body temperature, either some hormonal levels, many things. And we fall asleep. So we go first. There are two big phases of the sleep, called REM and non-REM, and one of these phases have 4 different stages within it. So first, when we fall asleep, we go into the white stages of sleep. It is the stages of the first big phase, called non-REM. Non-REM stands for non-rapid eye movement sleep. Or in other words, it means that when we are falling asleep, our eyes stop moving behind our eyelids. When researchers are measuring sleep and making research and are researching what people do or don't do during sleep, they measure 3 main things. It's brain activity, it's eye activity, and it's muscle activity. So according to these 3 different informations, they define into which state of sleep the person is getting into. So in the very first 2 white stages of the non-REM sleep, eyes are almost not moving. The brain activity is going to 80% of its normal level, and the body, the muscles are relaxing. Still, there is some tonus of the muscles, but they are in a greater relaxed state than in normal awake condition. So, after the first 2 phases, which are approximately between 20-something and 30 minutes altogether, we go into the deeper stages of sleep, actually the deep sleep. The deep sleep, these are stage 3 and 4 on the non-REM sleep, phase. These deep stages are extremely important for our physical body. If we don't get enough deep sleep during the night, our physical body is not going to restore to where it should be. Okay, and after this 1, 2, 3, 4 stage of non-REM phase are done, we go into the second big phase. It's big because it's important at the moment, not because it's a very long phase. It's called REM sleep or rapid eye movement. What we have here is very interesting. We have vast movement of the eyes behind the eyelids. That's called rapid eye movement, and we have a paralyzed body in comparison with the non-REM sleep. The body now is paralyzed, and we have a brain activity which is very, very close to the brain activity in a fully awakened state. Or in other hands, we have a working brain into a paralyzed body. If this mechanism is not active, the paralyzing mechanism, we would be having a sleeping and walking person, which we don't want. So, both non-REM and REM sleep are very important. Non-REM is for the body, REM is for the mind, for the brain. This is the time where the memory is consolidated, where the time where the brain does its job, so we can wake up fully awake, fully rested, fully, ready to go through our day, and we wake up with a great sense of humor. If we miss our REM sleep, we miss our sense of humor. That's how I know.
That's true.
I just want to add something important here. So these are the stages of the sleep, and one important thing, the non-REM and REM stages run altogether for 90 minutes. So 90 minutes is one full cycle of sleep, and of course if you go to bed like at 11 p.m. and you wake up at, let's say, 7 or 7:30, you've had several periods of 90 minutes, right? So it happens, you fall asleep, and in normal undisrupted sleep, you go like 90 minutes, 90 minutes, 90 minutes, and then you wake up when your body is ready to wake up. Does it make sense?
Make perfect sense.
Okay, great. Would you like to ask me here something, or I should proceed?
You're good. We got that.
Okay, so what happens when we don't have enough sleep? Well, mostly negative things. If our body doesn't restore its energy, we run through our day very, very tired, fatigued, we are not ready to handle stress quite yet. We are not ready to show our biggest, the big things that we can usually do, or in other words, our performance is not optimal, or it's far less than that. Something important here. If a person is for some reason wakes up during some part of the sleep, during the night, on the next sleep period, this exact part of the sleep is prolonged, and researchers say, that body or brain are trying to restore what was taken from them. But unfortunately, if I miss today an hour of sleep or two, I cannot make it up for the hour or two in the next day. Actually, it's shown that we need only 2 days with only 2 hours less sleep than usual to be really with far less abilities than usual. And this is very this is very hard to be a lot of people doesn't get that, and a lot of people doesn't accept that. A lot of people say, well, I'm strong, I'm working out, I drink coffee enough, I do these and these things and I just don't need to sleep. This is not true. Another very interesting very interesting point here is that it's really known that, I mean, it's really, how to say, spread that people should have 8 hours of sleep. And when I hear you should have 8 hours of sleep, I'm really like, no, you shouldn't. You should have the exact amount of hours that your body needs to sleep, that you need to get. Let me ask you here, have you noticed, have you paid attention actually how many hours of sleep you personally need?
I feel my best at about between 7 and 8. I'll say 7:30. I'm good at 7. I'm probably a little better at 8.
Okay.
6, I am not good.
Okay. So these 8 hours, they don't come out of nowhere. Of course, the researchers and everything they've shown that most of the people need between 7 and 8 hours of sleep. So 8 hours is a very valid number, but I would like to encourage people to start tracking their sleep and start tracking how do they feel after they got so and so hours of sleep. Let me explain better. So first thing in the morning, you wake up, you get your notebook and you put there. I went to bed at 10 o'clock, I fell asleep at 10:15. We are pretty good at about telling approximately the time. Then I woke up at, let me say, 6 a.m. I felt, and you're writing this down, I felt like dizzy, I didn't feel quite well, etc., etc. And then at the end of the day, you can say, well, I was with great energy today, or I wasn't with great energy today. And then do this for 2 weeks. And then you will discover that when your sleep was closer to these 90 minutes, like but 90 minutes like in full cycles. 7 hours and a half are exactly 5 full cycles of 90 minutes. Okay? So,
now, let me ask, can I stop you for
Sure.
a minute? So I know for myself, I become conscious several times through the night.
Okay.
Now, I go right back. I know a lot of people become conscious. They can't fall back to sleep.
Yes.
For the most part, I can get back to sleep. Okay, so I'm like conscious, okay, back to sleep.
Okay.
Is that a problem?
Well, it might be, or it might not be. What I'm saying, how do you feel in the day when you have these episodes? Do you feel like fatigued, or you feel like normal?
Well, that's a good question, and I think that there's lots of variables, right, in that whole thing. And for the most part, I haven't gone a full 7 or 8 hours without having that happen.
Okay.
So, and I'm so much better than I was from a health standpoint. But I'm doing really well now. So I'm going to say my energy, as long as I get between 7 and 8, I'm good.
Okay.
So even though I'm up, I would prefer to not, but that is what happens. So that's my answer. So I think it's fine.
Okay, because I will speak a little bit later about insomnia. I have a few things to say which I'd like to say then, but it's for some people it's normal to wake up in the night, and usually you wake up when you go from REM to lighter stages of sleep. So usually after the REM stage, it's right in the REM stage, we dream those vivid, colorful, very, detailed dreams. So after that, we can wake up. So some people wake up. There are some people who are very, very light sleepers. I'm very heavy sleeper myself. I almost never wake up, so
Just wait. till menopause hits. Not just teasing.
Yeah.
I never used to. I didn't used to. I could sleep straight through the night.
There are a lot of there are a lot of problems. I mean, a lot of things that can influence our sleep. So, but there is a lot of help that we can find as well. And just after, at the end of our talk, I'll give a very valuable a link for a very valuable information where everybody can go and check. I mean, their level of sleep or their, how to say, situation at the moment, and they can see for themselves what can be improved.
Great.
Okay, I just wanted to say something else here. If you, there are also another things that influence sleep, and is it everything okay?
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay, sorry. So, in the body there are different mechanisms that influentiate sleep. So one of the things is our internal body clock. The other thing is, as I mentioned before, the need of the body to have these deep night sleeps, or to go into these deep stages of sleep. Sometimes this is those two mechanisms can interfere with each other. Let me explain better what I mean. Imagine that you had how to say, not so great sleep, but it wasn't that bad as well. Okay? And you wake up at, let's say, 8 a.m. Can you go back to sleep immediately? Well, not immediately, but in the period between 10 a.m. and 12 a.m. Most usually you can't. You are feeling better at the moment and you're rather active. But noon passes and here comes 2 p.m. What happens for the most people? Their energy starts going down. And the period between 2 p.m. and, let's say, 4:30 is a very hard period, especially for those who haven't gotten their great night's sleep the night before. Okay? And then it's 5 p.m. and then it's 6 p.m. and all of a sudden, all these like groggy people who are in who don't have enough energy, they wake up. And they wake up for next 2 hours between 6 and 8 or 6 and 9 p.m. And then all of a sudden, they need to go to bed. It's pretty normal. There are different periods of the time, different periods of the day when our energy is up or our energy is down. And this is regulated by the inner clock. So I would like to point out those few periods, because later when I speak of how to improve your sleep, people can get back to this. So the two periods with higher energy, so to speak, or less need for sleep are in the morning, 10 to 12, and 10 to noon, and then in the evening 6 to 8. And then the periods when you need to be very careful, especially if you're driving, working with machines or something, are the periods in the night between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. And then in the afternoon, nearly at the same time, but not exactly, between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Or in other words, the two mechanisms are interfering with each other. Or if you came home from work at 7 a.m., you can or you cannot fall asleep right after that. Some people can, some people can't. And then those who can, they fall asleep. They wake up usually at 12 or 1, They feel tired the whole day after that till the evening, and then they go for the next night shift, and they say, "Oh, I feel so terrible." And I say, I can see it. I mean, of course you feel so terrible because you slept in the time when you shouldn't be sleeping, 10 to 12 in the morning, and then you miss the period for a better sleep in the afternoon. You know that many nations around the world, they use this 2 to 4 time for a nap, for a siesta, or for whatever they're calling it, and you do better just because the body goes with the world without around it. It goes with the high temperatures around that time and the internal need for sleep, let's say. And I would just like to address one more mechanism that is taking part in this. It's melatonin. You're very familiar with it, right? Of course you are. And many people are, but there are also many people who are. Melatonin is the body that, it's the hormone that the body produces in order to get us into sleep and stay asleep. Melatonin and cortisol work together in a balance, if I may say. During the night, it varies, but usually the melatonin production starts at around 9 p.m. and it's directly related to the light, sun white or artificial white. More white around us, no melatonin, no good sleep. Okay, so melatonin starts at around 9 p.m. and the production stops around 7 a.m. Then strikes the cortisol, and the cortisol keeps us running throughout the day, and then it's replaced by melatonin. Of course, this balance is more delicate, but for basic needs, this will do. So with age, melatonin, unfortunately, its production is decreasing. And people are saying that they can't sleep. Well, it's obvious. But there are also other things that we can do to improve our sleep. And to those things we don't pay great attention. And we should.
Beautiful. All right, boy, that was a great primer. I love it. And your English is beautiful. You're so clear. So because we've already been on here for a while, give us just some really easy, doable tips, Gergana, for us to improve our sleep.
Sure. I would like to say that I took a look at the questions in the group, and I'll try to address them all. So stay tuned. And for me, one very, very first thing is that in order to sleep, you need to shut down the light. You just need to. You need take your mask. You know these eye masks. Take them and use them. This is very, very important. Just the brain doesn't work well. I mean, sleep related without the darkness.
Right.
The second thing that we should consider is that our modern world is full of electronics, of different kinds of waves that really interfere with our ability to sleep and stay asleep. Now, think of the small red light on your TV screen. This one, it can interfere with sleep extremely bad. You need a couple of seconds with this light and you're done. It might disrupt your sleep very, very much. What pilots do you want to know?
Yes.
First thing when they go to the hotel room, and they change them very often, but the first thing they do is they put a tape on the lamp.
Tape on the lamp. Okay.
Yeah, it works. So the other thing that you should do is, if possible, try to sleep in the time when you should sleep and be awakened in the time when you don't. A lot of people with problems with, and I have to tell, there are more than 100 different sleep disorders. It's getting scary out there, really. And those people.
So in other words, no nap. The nap doesn't help. No
Well,
middle of the afternoon nap.
It does, but again, it depends. Some people can nap, other people can't. Imagine, I can't. If I sleep at the afternoon, I feel terrible. I can't sleep the night after that, and I feel terrible. But I encourage people to try and see. If you can't get enough hours of sleep during the night, you should sleep during the day, because you need these 6, 7, or 8, or 9 full hours of sleep that you need. Okay, another thing. Don't overdo with caffeine. Don't overdo with alcohol. You can't imagine how many people say, I go home at, let's say, 5 a.m. and I just eat a gulp of wine or a gulp of alcohol. It helps me. No. I mean, yes, it does help you, but it interferes with your REM sleep. So, alcohol and sleep don't work together well. Sleep is disrupted and it's shorter. Then another thing you can do, you will like this one. Exercises and sleep. So many people say, I love to exercise right before I go to bed. And I'm like, okay, if this is your time, do it. But then see if it works for you. Because what happens is, in order to go to sleep, our body temperature goes down and our heart rate goes down. If I have this great exercise routine, my temperature goes up, my heart rate goes up. And I'm like, I can go and go and go and go. And I don't want this condition if I want to sleep. So I will say, of course, there are different routines, and we know which is our favorite routine, don't we? But even with T-Tapp, we have to be careful, because there are exercises and exercises. Some stretches before bed, great. Tempo workout in the morning, please.
So I like stretching before, just because it releases. For me, now I agree with you. T-Tapp would be too intense. Anything else too intense, but I love to just do some slow stretching, because when my muscles are tight, that helps me relax them and kind of, allow all that tension to come out. So that might be helpful, a meditative stretch, right? Okay.
You posted a great video a while ago. I definitely recommend this. I just don't do like aerobic strength. It's not. Some people some people get away with it just great, but others, especially with age, no. And what about, let's talk about the food a little bit.
I'm all about the food.
Yeah, very, very favorite question. Some people can go to bed and when they're hungry. Other people can't go to bed when they're hungry. What I say is, tune into your body, see what works for you. Just don't overdo it. Don't be very hungry, or don't be very stuffed. Avoid spicy food, but again, if your favorite only food is Indian, you will be doing pretty well with this.
That'll speed up.
Many friends they go very well with food, so I can't say don't eat spicy food. No, just tune into your body and see what works for you. And again, coffee. Some nations they can drink it all the way long. Other they can't. Again, feel yourself. What else you can do? Here in Bulgaria, we have very, very nice herbal teas that we can use. And I've done some research on that. And two very, very nice teas. It's chamomile, it's pronounced like this, and lemon balm. Lemon balm is an amazing, both of these herbs are amazing, but lemon balm, it's really maybe one of my favorites, because it relaxes the muscles, it relaxes the cramps, it makes you feel good, it even levels some hormonal levels. So it's really amazing. And as I know, you can't overdo with herbs. I mean, chamomile and lemon balm, you can't overdo them. So drink one or two or three glasses during the day, and right before sleep, you'll be feeling much better.
Yes, very nice.
And I do have some questions, a specific question.
These are great. I'll tell you one other thing that I found that can be helpful.
Yes.
Is getting some valerian essential oils.
Yes.
So valerian is another herb, right, that can relax you. And even taking a little and doing some reflexology with the valerian on the bottoms of your feet.
Oh, that's
now, I will tell you, if you're thinking that you're going to have a lovely night of relaxation with your sweetheart, valerian does not smell very good. That's the only thing about it. So you might want to do it on another day. And of course, we know having some relaxing activity with our sweetheart right before going to sleep is another way to just relax the body. And
of course. So, and one important thing here, by the way, you can use another essential oil, lavender.
Yes.
It's great. Like, you can use it for everything. Bugs in the closet, sleepless night, everything.
Yes. Can you see mine? You can see my diffuser. I'm using something called Women's Balance. It's just essential oils are so helpful because they also work on the limbic, right?
Absolutely, I agree with this. And another thing that I just remembered, and it would be very helpful. It is very helpful.
Yes.
People love to go into bed with their electronics. Please, people, don't do that. You need 30 minutes, you need an hour of electronics before bed in order to get some sleep. And I just can't stand what's happening these days, especially with the young kids. It's getting insane. I mean, it's really getting insane.
That blue light that comes off of the iPads really mess with the pineal gland. Yes. So we have to do that. Beautiful.
Yes.
Now, here's another thing that I find can be helpful is before bed, having a bedtime ritual.
Exactly.
Right? So maybe a nice Epsom salt bath with some lavender, just so that the body goes, okay, this is my relaxation.
Absolutely. And if somebody thinks it's very long and I don't have the time, you can do another thing. For me, my evening ritual is I'm just putting my pajama on and I'm reading my book.
Perfect.
2 minutes. Undressing my clothes, dressing my night clothes, and getting my book. By the next 5 minutes, I'm done. But if I lay on the bed with my clothes, it's not going to happen. So I encourage people to find their thing and try to get it.
Beautiful. This has been so helpful. Great stuff. Yeah, very complete. And I think all of these things just make a big difference. One little thing that I'm just going to mention, actually two. One, I absolutely love how you're saying listen to your body. I think, right, and that's so about so many things, and that's really becoming my mantra, which is one size does not fit all. It's true with everything. And so you try and you listen, so that while you are an absolute, very educated expert, and you can give, I love that smile, and you can give, great suggestions, you're still saying, don't just listen to me, you try and you listen to your body. Absolutely. And that is so important. One thing that I just want to mention with the food that I found also is sometimes if you are eating your dinner early, which we say, from a weight loss standpoint, you want to have a couple hours before going to sleep, Also kind of pay attention to blood sugar, because if you have any blood sugar issues and they fall in the middle of the night, that can wake you up as well. And you'll know that because you'll feel really hungry. Have you ever found that?
I know what you're speaking about, although this is not my usual thing because I eat later.
Right,
But
okay.
if I'm hungry, I can't fall asleep. Let me
Right.
tell you.
So just a little bit of protein, or maybe a few nuts, like a little protein fat,
Yes.
so that you're not having carbs, because the carbs can start to affect you. But just a little bit of protein, maybe a little almond butter or something, a little is the key word here, just to get you through the night so that you don't wake up. So again, that's very individual as well.
But it's a great tip. It's a great tip. I totally agree with this, and I find it very useful when people decide to do it. I mean, with suggestions, people decide.
Beautiful. You have been such a great interview. Oh my gosh, I love this. And I know that the ladies are going to really appreciate these tips. So, here's the thing. We can accumulate information, but if we don't use it, it's not going to help us. So I am so thrilled to have had you come on, take time out of your Sunday to share some of your experience and your education and your gorgeous smile and your heart and all that stuff. So
thank you for having me. It was my pleasure, and it was your Sunday as well. So thank you very much.
You are so welcome. And I'm just hoping, guys, because this is our first time that we're actually recording from Skype. Yay, the internet connection didn't go down. That's always helpful.
That's great.
And hopefully this recording will be good, and I will post it up. So thank you so much, darling. Kisses from around the world, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye, babe.
Bye.